Hey Jake, how you doing?
How's everyone doing? Good. How about you?
Good. Wanted to start out with talking about takeaways. That was something that was such an important part of your guys' success last season. Have you guys kind of had a conversation with some of the returning guys on how important it's going to be to keep that momentum from last season going in terms of taking the football away at a high rate?
Of course, it's always part of our game plan and part of like our DNA. Like our coaches make it a big point of emphasis for us.
Do you guys have a number in mind of what you want to try and get in that opener against Wisconsin?
I mean, every game you're looking for 3+, but um, I think there's a statistic. It's like above 95% if you're getting 3 a game. If you're like averaging right around 3 a game, or if you're +3 in the turnover margin, right? Your chances of winning are like 95% or something crazy like that. So um, we're looking for 3 at least, and then as many as you can get, right?
Thanks, Jake.
Yep.
Hi, Jake. Thanks for doing this, man. Hey, moving inside to middle linebacker this year, from a football standpoint, how's that kind of changed things for you on what you're seeing out there on the field? And also from a leadership standpoint, you're calling the plays and named a captain again. So how do you feel your role has changed? And do you have to kick things up a notch this year?
I mean, honestly, of course, I'll be in the box a little bit more, so you'll see me more interior, but it's the role change is just like more is on me mentally as far as like making checks and different things like that. So that's kind of what the Mike linebacker does in a lot of defenses, and it's a big emphasis in our defense as well.
Thanks, Jake.
Hey,
That's all I
Jake.
have.
Yep.
Hey, Jake. I know after last year when you beat Wisconsin, you had that point spread in your head and you
Yeah.
yelled it out. Um, what do you think of? Brandon talked about big underdogs again. What's that mean to you guys?
I mean, it's just kind of like they keep disrespecting Illinois. 23, like I know it. I know this 23 and a half point spread. It's just it just doesn't really make sense. But I mean, I guess we'll see.
And Wisconsin's offense, obviously, you guys took the ball away a lot last year. Was key to winning.
Mhm.
What makes their offense though so difficult, especially up front?
Sorry, what's so difficult? What'd you
About
say?
their offense, their style of offense, and beating them.
I mean, they just do everything like it's kind of it seems like a Wisconsin theme. They kind of just do everything right. Like they don't beat themselves. Like you really have to force the turnovers yourself. They're not going to just hand you turnovers. And then they have a good running attack every year, good play action game off it. So it's just kind of what they do. They're really consistent in what they do, and being more consistent and really getting after the football and taking it away because they're not going to give any handouts. That's
Thanks,
what makes them so difficult.
thanks, man.
Hmm.
Hey, Jake, hope everything's going well. You mentioned your transition to the mic position this year. How much has Dele being on the staff helped you in that process?
He's a big help, and he's always like, well, when he sees different things on the field, like we've seen it different at times, and he's helped me like maybe see it a different way and like give me a different perspective on like a certain play. So he's helpful a lot. And just having like he was one of my really good friends, still is, but he's helped me like just having him there is like comforting too. So
And Coach Smith mentioned you were a 2-year captain now. You've been named to a few different watch lists from the linebacker position.
Mhm.
What are some personal goals you have for your senior season?
I don't want to get into too specifics, but I mean I think the end all I just want to be an All-American. I think everyone should have that goal. I mean, the plan is to win all the awards, right? Like I'm on the watch list. I want to win them. So.
Thanks, Jake.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Jake, good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. I guess the first question I have, after missing the last several games of last season with an injury, what kind of emotions are you going to feel getting back on in the field against Wisconsin, a team that I think you forced 2 fumbles against last season?
Um, honestly, I'm just really excited to get back to playing. Like you said, I haven't played in, I think it's getting close to right around a year, and it's fun to just finally have a game, and we're not full speed ahead. Doesn't look like anything. I don't want to say anything or jinx it, but it's looking like we're pretty much guaranteed going to play. So.
On a personal level, how much does your relationship with Coach Lovey mean to you? I know he talks all the time about the relationship that you guys have, and he seems to express a real love for the relationship he has for you. What's your relationship like with him?
I would just say, I mean, great respect. I think the way you want to be as a man is just what Coach Smith represents. And we have a great relationship. I would just say, I would just put it like the way I would put it is loyalty. He's been super good to me. And so I try to be as good as I can to him. And he's probably the closest thing, because I've had my fathers have been in my life, and no one will ever take that role, obviously. But I think as close as you can get to that was what Coach Smith has been for me. So.
Thanks, Jake. Really appreciate it.
Jake, last year when you guys beat Wisconsin, what did that do for you guys from a confidence level? I mean, you rattled off 3 straight wins after that, and it kind of seemed like, did it lift anything off your shoulders, or how did you guys view that game?
I think it was a lot of things. It was definitely a confidence booster. It was definitely something that, like you said, lifted some weight off your shoulders. But I think it just showed that, we kind of took a couple losses back to back, and it just kind of showed that we weren't like an old Illinois team that kind of would have just rolled over, or the 4-8 or the 2-10 Illinois that would just kind of roll over and just accept defeat kind of thing. And it just showed that the work we had put in wasn't just for nothing. You know what I mean?
And you guys will be playing against a quarterback making his first career start.
Yep.
How do you like that? Is there anything you can do to disrupt his flow or rhythm, or without, I guess, getting too specific into the game plan?
Yeah, with the quarterback, Wisconsin's always going to have a big rushing attack, so you can kind of expect them to ease the quarterback in with some easier throws and some rollouts and some things like that. But like you said, it's his first career start. We don't have a ton of tape on him. Honestly, been watching some of his huddle highlights and things like that. So it's that to see what type of thrower he is, and but that's kind of what I think you're going to see from a young quarterback. So.
Thank you, Jake.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jake, it's been a little while since any all-out tackling. What do you have to do mentally or physically to make that transition into hard hitting and all, especially against a Big Ten team for the first game?
I don't want to sit here and say that I don't really need that's not a hard transition for me, but I don't think it's something that's not really what it's at the forefront of my mind going into week 1. It's tackling is kind of one of those things like riding a bike, kind of hop back on and go.
And how have you seen the front 4 progress during training camp? How are they setting you up?
Our defensive line?
Yeah.
We have some really, I think has progressed pretty well. We have new Rod's been doing a great job for us. The one technique, he's going to give us he's been keeping guys off me. Jamal Woods is playing really well, doing a great job for us. And Owen Carney's been showing a lot as well. He's really stepping it up.
Things are going right defensively and stopping the run. Are you getting most of the tackles? Are the linebackers getting most of the tackles, or are guys up front?
It just kind of depends on what type of offense you're playing, right? I would say for the most part, though, it's mainly a linebacker set up for the linebackers to make a couple more plays in the D-line.
Cool.
I will say Rod is disrupting a lot, though, and making plays himself.
Thank you. Good luck.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jake.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Purdue just lost their coach got diagnosed with COVID.
Yeah.
How devastating would that be if as a player, as a leader, how hard would that be if that happened to you guys?
Like Coach Smith.
Right. I don't want to. Yeah, I wouldn't wish it on anybody, but how would how
Yeah.
hard?
It would be. It would be something obviously where we'd all be pretty disappointed, and it would be, I think, a downer. But I don't. It would. I wouldn't say it's not like I don't think it's the end of the world, honestly, unless like from a health standpoint, it's definitely very worrisome. We're going to be praying for him, all that, everything. But from a strictly football business standpoint, I don't think it'd be the end of the world.
Okay. You guys would be able to rally. You
Yeah,
think?
we'd be all right. Yeah, from a football standpoint, but from a health and worry about his personal health, that's a whole different story.
I guess the difference is he's your defensive coordinator too. He's the head coach, of course, but that I kind of double whammy with Lovey, right?
Exactly, but I mean, I think Coach Smith has done a good job, like developing the coaches underneath him to potentially fill that void if that situation were to come up.
And would that put more pressure on the captains and the leaders of the team like yourself?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be making any calls. Like, I'm not going to be the D
Right.
coordinator or anything. But like,
Big
it would.
goal.
I don't think it would. It would just like a call to rally the troops. That'd be kind of what it was, I guess. So.
Thanks, Jake.
Yep.
Jake, thanks for doing this. I was just wondering, you had talked about the tackling after a long layoff, but I'm just wondering from what the college football you may have watched the last few weekends, seeing how other conferences responded after long layoffs. What do you think the quality of play is going to be like in the Big Ten this weekend? And what things that you might maybe see in other games that you kind of learn from in terms of things to watch out for when you're playing for the first time in a long while?
I mean, I think throughout college football it's been a little sloppy, but the Big Ten's been able to see that and watch that and prepare for that. So I think we're going to put a great product on the field. Like, it's going to be competitive and be like Big Ten football.
Jake, how quickly did you and the defensive leaders kind of look around when you saw Rod and go, yeah, this guy can help us? I mean, and because it's a different level of football going from FCS to the Big Ten, but it almost seemed like a lot of you guys it took a couple of practices and you were like, no, this dude can help us.
Yeah, I mean, he's like a legitimate one technique, and he showed it from pretty early, like when 1 or 2 days, it was like, holy cow. I mean, even like, it wasn't even just us saying it; it's our offensive line saying, "Yeah, he's hard to block." Right.
Right.
Hey, Jake, last year when you beat Wisconsin, how big of a win was that for this program, just in making a statement and just getting all you guys over the hump?
Yeah, I think it's definitely like one of our signature wins, if you wanted to put it that way. But I think it definitely like put us – I wouldn't say it put us over the hump. I would just say it like gave us a big chance to do a lot of good things and like set us up to play well in games after that.
All right. How surprised are you then after beating them last year that you guys are more than a 3-touchdown underdog? It seemed like Lovey, like that opened Lovey's eyes, and didn't sound like Brandon was too happy when he heard that.
I mean, if you look at their schedule last year, I think they beat one Big Ten team by over 23 points. So it just kind of didn't really make sense to me. Like, I was like, all right, that doesn't really make sense. And I understand that we beat them, but like everyone's going to say, like, I figured we were going to be pretty substantial underdogs, but I didn't think it was going to be 23-24 area. Awesome. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Jake.
Thank you, Jake.